Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Savannah Community Headlines Live. It's Monday, July 27th, 2020, and we created this live space at the beginning of the pandemic. It's a place that we can all gather and talk. So think of it as like a virtual water cooler with this. So until the pandemic's over, we're going to keep meeting and doing this, which who knows how long that's going to be. So today, hanging around the water cooler is Florence Latinsky with Advertising Specialty Services and Catalina Garcia Quick with Visibility Team. Carmel and Nayandi were both having computer issues, internet issues, so here we are. Good morning. How are you?
Morning.
Yeah. So I want to first start off. Look, I want to show you all those this really cute little dog that Coastal Pet Rescue has. Her name is Franny, Miss Franny. Isn't she precious? Yeah, we need to find her a forever home.
That is a cute dog. That is a really cute dog.
Absolutely. Just so you go to Coastal Pet Rescue and you can find Miss Franny. Anyhow, so Florence, what good news do you have that you can share with everybody?
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about was we're doing a utensil drive at Ad Specialty Services that is going to benefit Emmaus House. So I think a lot of us have noticed that one of the many downsides to the pandemic is all the to-go packaging. And a lot of times you pick it up and then you take it home, right? And then you don't need the utensils that they put in there. And you hate to just throw them away. So Emmaus House can use them. And Emmaus House feeds people Monday through Friday. It's a morning meal. And so they are also in a to-go model. So by donating any unused and packaged utensils you have, then you're offsetting that cost and putting it to, a good use.
Awesome. So I think August 14th is the deadline. And isn't that Diana Morrison's birthday too?
That is Diana's birthday. So she always likes to make a big birthday, rah-rah. So one of the things, I'm sure there will be others, but one of the things she wanted to do for her birthday was, take the collection. So I think it was a goodwill gesture that she wanted to do. So it's a win-win for everybody. So we all have way too much of that plastic at home.
Yeah, don't bring it out. Bring it over and collect it and drop it by. What's the address of Ad Specialty?
Oh, 402. That one I know. I thought you were going to ask me about Emmaus House. It's 402 East Montgomery Crossroads.
Well, you and Catalina have a connection. Well, besides all of us being on Isle of Hope Island.
Besides the Isle of Hope, yeah. Yeah, so we used to work together. So when I first moved back to Savannah and I was looking for a job in my field, and Diana had a little transition happening at her office and needed someone to help her immediately with her office management, bookkeeping, operations stuff. And so I stepped in to help her do that. And what was supposed to be like a 90-day thing ended up being like a year and a half.
She has that effect on people. I think when I got into it, I thought I would be there for a bit, and now it's been, I think, over 10 years.
Mm-hmm. So I've known her since my oldest daughter turns 18 on Wednesday, and so that's how I know how long I've known her, because I've known her from right about the time I had Selena. So she has been my we talk about our girl squad. She has been my posse, the head of the posse, for about 17, 18 years now.
Diana's always around because, like, my background, I bought that from Ad Specialty Services. I got this wonderful mug from Ad Specialty Services and this wonderful power charger.
Oh, those are the best.
Those are cool.
It says a powerful thank you. So we gave these out at Christmas time. You can plug it into your phone and it lasts forever. It's really awesome.
I just got this from a sales rep. I don't know if y'all can read it, but it says COVID-19 can be killed with 60% alcohol. Challenge accepted.
Wait, hold on. Let me see that. Hold it up. Hold it up high.
It's like Tumblr.
Oh, it is 60, not 70.
I need those for the pool.
Right. So I just thought that was really cute. You know, everybody's sort of figuring out how to stay in touch with people. And one of our sales reps sent us that is just like a fun piece to just say, thinking about you and wanting to stay in touch. And we all thought, you know, it's such a heavy time and it was fun to get something fun that I sent her a text and said, thank you for making me laugh because, you know, I really needed that. So it was nice to have something a little lighthearted out there too.
I see Tanya Milton in the back screen. Let me pull her in here. Hold on. She's on. Yay. There she is. Hey, Tanya.
Hi,
Good morning. Are you feeling better?
It's been tough, but I made it.
Oh, we're glad you could
These
join.
Zoom meetings is you can just throw on something and come to the Zoom meeting.
Yeah, we have Zoom gloom, as somebody called it. It's Zoom gloom. So anyhow, we were just talking about advertising specialty services, and they're going to be collecting these wrapped cutlery and to add specialty services before August 14th, which is Diana Morrison's birthday, and then bringing it down to Mary's house. Absolutely. Here's Courtney Rollins. Good morning. Good morning. Shout out for Buy Local. Hey there.
Well, on August 1st, and for those of you that know Diana, August 1st, her birthday might be on the 14th, but August 1st is her birthday, start of her birthday month, tiara in tow, and there's something done every single day. That was the funnest time. That was better than Christmas working at that office. We all had tiaras. We all did something fun every day. And she'll pick different stuff to do and say, okay, today I'm going to the movies. Who wants to come? And today I'm going to go get coffee. Who wants to come? Or whatever she does. So I love that she's incorporated this really important mission and event into her overall birthday plan, because I think it's a really good, it serves a few purposes, getting plastic off the street and putting it to good use, and also helping a good cause.
Absolutely.
No, we're very grateful. You know, I think if you think about the most vulnerable in the community, they're especially vulnerable right now. And there's always a concern about funding, you know, especially right now. So if we can offset any of those costs with donations, it's extremely helpful.
Good morning, Bunny. Bunny, where are you right now in this world? Are you traveling? I love this program because you can
So I got to do something super fun last week that I wanted to, you were saying, what are we going to talk about this morning? And so it kind of ties in with but I got to do something super fun. Well, it was super fun for me anyway. We had Governor Cuomo come into town just kind of on a whim last week. And basically the backstory is he basically saw our mayor on the news and was listening to, our current numbers and statistics with COVID-19. And the governor of New York, Governor Cuomo, called our mayor and said, hey, I got some stuff. You need some help. And our mayor said, sure, bring it on. And so Saturday, they shipped a bunch of stuff down. And then on Monday, the governor of New York flew down. They had a kind of a roundtable session at the Hyatt for several hours. And the goal of the session, it wasn't political. It was strictly, basically community service. They brought down a team of medical experts from New York City, who are the folks that were responsible for setting up their testing sites in several of their cities up there. And basically they brought them down. They're here for 2 weeks. And they brought down hundreds of thousands of pieces of PPE. It was like 125,000 masks, 7,500 N95s, gowns, face shields, gloves, 7,500 COVID test kits. And what they've done is they have set up 2 free COVID testing sites here in Savannah, one at a church and one at a community center. And get that information, we can post it later where those sites are. But they've set up two testing sites here using those supplies. And the team from New York is here for 2 weeks to teach our folks how to not only set up COVID-19 testing sites, but also how to continue to maintain, operate, and manage those sites. And so we've got some, a little get by with a little help from our friends. And, it's a great opportunity for the community, especially, we've got 1,000 cases a day racking up here in Savannah. So I was able to go and be part of the media pool that day. And I even got to ask a question. So it was very exciting.
What did you ask?
I asked about tourism. I asked Governor Cuomo, I said, basically, I realize that you cannot give us a specific date, but, New York City is a very tourism based place. New York is a very tourism based state. And, Savannah being a tourism based city, I asked, when based on the policies and procedures that they had put into place up in New York, and now that they've started to see a downturn, what are their projections for being able to fully open back up in New York City for tourism? And then my counter question to our mayor was, do we have any projections along those lines here? And the answer was from the governor of New York was basically, it really depends on everybody else, because New York can handle their business and have their numbers start to decline. But if everyone else around them and people coming in aren't doing their part, then they never have an opportunity to overcome, because people are constantly coming in and the virus is still spreading around. Our mayor basically said, tourism really never stopped here. We did have to close, we did have to change things around, but people still kept coming, especially from the surrounding states, because we were one of the few states that was still technically open. And so it just boiled down to everybody doing their part. And, the president said the other day, the most patriotic thing you can do is wear your mask. So mask up, people. We all want to go out and play.
That's funny.
Kingdom Life. Kingdom Life is one of the sites that they set up. And I did get out there on Friday and take photos. But the guys, they said they're all from New York and they're from people.
Tanya, you gotta move closer because it's hard to hear you.
Hard to hear you.
Okay, so can you hear me?
That's funny.
Yes.
So on Friday, I did get out to Kingdom Life. Kingdom Life is one of the sites that they set up, and they'll be setting up at Temple of Glory on next week. But I did get out to Temple of Kingdom Life and get some photos. And yeah, they are amazing. I mean, just the whole process is amazing.
Lauren? Go ahead, Tanya.
I don't want the virus.
I know this is a terrible time to be sick with just normal stuff and or to have allergies. Everyone freaks out.
I think I had it. My son actually.
I started not feeling well about 4 o'clock this morning, and I've been trying to make it through. So it's not the virus.
Okay. I know Florence. Florence has had experience with this. What happened?
And I have to give the county such kudos for the testing. I mean, I know we need more help because of the incredible volume of testing that has to happen, but I was really impressed with my experience doing the testing with the county, which we did right at the very end of June. We were going on a trip and it required a test. So we went to the county, and that they were doing a pop-up that day, Compassion Christian, and there must have been, I mean, I'm not good at estimating. There were just cars for miles. It took us 3.5 hours to get through the line. Wow. But, we had our test results in 48 hours, which is pretty remarkable. So unfortunately, my son,
7 days.
Yeah, my son was positive and completely asymptomatic. So that's something you hear about, but we were, like a lot of people, really surprised that he had it. But everybody else tested negative. And then I did another test the following week just to see, because I really thought I had it, because I've had a headache for ever. And now I've just decided that it's like a COVID lifestyle headache, not like COVID the disease. Like I think it might never go away, kind of headache. But anyway, the county did do a great job, I thought.
So did your son ever actually get sick?
No. And we set up a whole chain reaction where we quarantined. We told he'd been in contact with some other, he's a teenager. They do not, social distance is not in their world. And they'd only been doing things mostly outside. I mean, we'd done the best we could with it. But anyway, once he tested positive, several other families tested, and there were a good deal of positives, and they were all asymptomatic. So I was very grateful that was the case, but it was interesting to see, how many asymptomatic people, at least in this zone, there were.
Right. Well, I think that's the scariest thing, and I mean, I'm no medical expert and they all know better than we all do. But I think the one thing that I keep reading is that where kids are not necessarily getting sick. I'm a member of a board here locally, and we put together a COVID-19 kind of task force to help us manage policies, procedures, operations surrounding just that. And she's a local pediatrician, and she lives here in Isle of Hope, and she was saying what she's seeing is a lot of kids coming into the doctor's offices, and they are completely asymptomatic, but they are positive, which to me, that's just terrifying to me.
Well, I think that's why it's so important to assume that everybody has it. Mm-hmm. So you need to be wearing your mask. You need to be not coming in contact with high risk. And if for us, it was kind of an eye opener to just assume everybody has it all the time. And then you go from there, And so I don't see that as pessimism, but I was so glad we really hadn't been interacting with my parents who are older.
Right.
And so it was like, yeah, we have it and we need to deal with this, but we had been wearing masks. We had not been interacting with, older family members. And I think as school goes back, people are just going to have to acknowledge the kids are going to get it. And you're just going to do the best you can to protect the most vulnerable.
Well, and I think it's a good opportunity for parents as well to, I have a 10-year-old and I have my daughter will be 18 on Wednesday. And my 10-year-old, she's supposed to be going back to school. And of course, we made the decision not to send her just because we have some things in our household that kind of set us apart from everybody else. And so for us, the best decision is to, manage school online at this point. But I think it's a good opportunity for our kids to, she had some children on a game the other day where she was like, I have to get my mask and we're leaving. And somebody said, oh, you're scared. And my daughter, she's definitely her mother's daughter. She's like, I'm not scared of anything. I'm just working smart, And so I think it's a good opportunity for parents to teach their kids, talk to their kids, be open and communicate with their kids that, it's nothing to be afraid of. You just have to, it's brand new. We don't know enough about it. So just work smart everywhere you go. And, you never know who you could be protecting. You're probably protecting someone you don't even know. So it's community service in a weird way.
That was a nice shout out from Pete Nichols for Tanya Milton. So, hey, good morning, Pete.
I know. I want to hear from Tanya. Tanya, what you got to tell us today? I see your sign in the background.
I am very excited that I'm not. I don't think I have the virus. I am feeling a little under the weather this morning, but I'm going to work through it. So today is Monday. Today is Monday. I've got a lot going on. I got to get this paper put together. And then I am still on the campaign trail. As you know, I am running for 5th District County Commissioner. And early voting is already in progress. And the actual voting day is August 11th. So I want to get everybody out. I want to thank everybody who voted for me initially on June 9th. But I want to ask everybody to come back out on August 11th, if not before then, and Tanya Milton with District County Commission. Thank you.
Awesome. Tanya, tell us about the Savannah Tribune and when it was established, and I want to hear.
The Tribune was established in 1875. It was founded by John DeVoe, who was a young man that was in I guess it was the First World War. And I don't know that you know this, but we had battles that were down at oh
Fort McAllister? No.
no, Burnenberg. Yeah, we had battles that were there in Burnenberg. And actually, John DeVoe was on a ship. He was a young man as a sailor and was shot. And he took a bullet for his master, actually. He was actually in slavery, but this is like his history. But now, in 1875, we founded the Savannah Tribune, which is one of the oldest continuous publishing newspapers in the country. And Robert James, who is the president of Harvard State Bank, revitalized it in 1973. I started in 1975 and did my stint there until 78, moved away to Detroit and Kansas City, spent 20 years with the Savannah Morning News coming back, and I spent 20 years with Savannah Morning News, and now that I'm at the Savannah Tribune again, in 2002 that I left the Morning News, and have been doing the Savannah Tribune ever since. And we have over 45,000 readers. I am one of my biggest destinations is public service.
Come closer, Tanya.
We circulate news and churches. Am I good?
It's breaking up, unfortunately.
Let me see if I can.
And Tanya, I think you and I had the connection that didn't you know some people at the Savannah Gazette, Tanya?
Say that again.
I think that you and I put together at one point. My mom used to work at the Savannah Gazette, and that was another local publication. And I think we put that. Do what?
Was that Dr. Scardino?
Yes, started yeah. So, but anyway, my mom worked at the Savannah Gazette back probably in the 70s, and she actually interviewed Jim Williams at one point. And that was when things were done a lot differently. She, anyway, she said her editor sends her off to go do this interview, and she's all nervous and, and he said, well, I won't talk to you unless you drink with me. So she had a couple of martinis at lunch with him while he told her his side of the story. And then she went back and, he's like, what did he say? And she's like, I don't know. I mean, he was great. I really loved him.
What a great job. Great job.
So,
Tanya, can you hear?
That was during his Jim Williams days when he was the Garden Good Neither.
Right. Well, I think that went on for years, while he went through the different trials. So I don't remember what point it was, but
he had three different.
Did you remember that story? Were you in Savannah during that?
Actually, I was actually a part of the scene. We went to whose house was next to the cathedral. The cathedral, the school, Cathedral Day School. I think that was whose house was that next to? Mandy. I think we went to Mandy's house, and Mandy had parrots that were in and out of the little trees that they were running in and out of. Mandy lived next to the school. Yeah, we had a bunch of fun. We had a bunch of fun.
You have such an interesting background, Tanya. Didn't you work with Senator Nunn too?
Oh yeah, I was on Senator Nunn's Youth Commission. I was on Senator Nunn's Youth Commission. I also worked for Maynard Jackson was running for office, and I campaigned for him. That's how long ago. You're dating me, Marjorie. You're making me feel old. No, most people don't know who Sam Nunn is.
Wow. Well, that's really interesting history, and no wonder you're into politics. So, yeah, you've been around it a long time, Tanya.
Senator,
I did class president. You know, I was on the student council in high school, so I guess I was destined for all of this.
Absolutely. Florence, what were you going to say?
well, when you said Senator Nunn, it reminded me, he attended one of the historic Savannah Foundation dinners. You know, they always do that big dinner in the winter. And he was there in the audience, and someone asked him, would he ever run for, you know, a bigger office? And his answer has stuck with me for years. He said, it requires too much on a personal level, and I wouldn't do that to the people that I love. And I've thought of that so often when we see, you know, who is willing to take on these positions. And it's like, you know, if you're a really grounded family person, you're basically being asked to sacrifice that to be a politician at the very highest levels. And most people, they don't want to do it. I know Colin Powell said the same thing. And I remember Senator Nunn saying that and thinking it was such a profound statement.
Right. I tell you, it requires quite a bit. It requires quite a bit. And I've just been campaigning since December, and I'm exhausted.
You got to take care of yourself, Tanya. It is exhausting, and especially with everything going on. I want to also talk about Center Park Credit Union is looking for models. So they might have already closed it. The shoot is this week. So they are looking for all sorts of models. And they are paying. And I know we've got it on here. Liz, can you put it up there? Anyhow, you go to talent@centerpark.org to submit your photographs, and they'll be selecting them soon. So I want to talk about that. Kat,
I was going to say we've also got the Encourage Health. There's a lot of calls for things this week. The Encourage Health is also that education series. Their End Market and Healthy Savannah partnership. They're calling for speakers this week, if I remember correctly. Right, the 2020 season launches, I think, Thursday, and it runs through October 1st, right? October 1st, and it has a quarterly live stream, I think. And they're calling for speakers, and I think Liz is going to put up the link. But nominations are being accepted through August 21st for that. So there's all the details. Marjorie, you probably know more than me on that, but I know all the details are on the website and such.
Yeah. So if you have done any health related topics, go ahead and apply. We're only going to be selecting 4 people this year to be part of that series, the Encourage Health lecture series. So if you're looking for that, go to healthysavannah.org where you can submit your application.
Healthysavannah.org.
There will be a committee of folks that will be selecting. Also, another shout out, December 8th, we're going to be holding the State of Small Business. This is going to be our 8th year doing this, and it's where you'll hear from all the different industries, from tourism to real estate to retail to the film industry, of how well or how awful we're doing in Chatham County. But that's all going to be online. We're going to be using this platform with StreamYard. We're also going to submit all those reports and give it to the Georgia Historical Society to use in their COVID-19 gallery display for the pandemic. So it's going to be part of history, actually. So, mark the calendar for December 8th at 1 o'clock, and I'll give you that information. On the side, we also have, let's see, Oh, one more thing. I found out my book was actually published this week. Yay! Finally, finally. So,
A news story.
yeah, I know. I need to write a press release about it. Here's the front cover. So it's Reputation Matrix, 5 strategies to create word of mouth. But I don't think it's even up on Amazon yet. But it takes like a few
Book signing tour, Savannah. Book signing tour to follow. Stay tuned.
We've got to do all that. Oh, wait a second. David is on. Hold on a second. He just joined us. Hold on. Here he is. Hey, David.
Howdy.
There you are.
Thanks so much for, I do apologize for being late. I had some technical difficulties, but thank you so much for the opportunity to join.
Absolutely. We're just sharing all the good news. Tell us what's happening with the Savannah Harbor Foundation.
Well, absolutely. So, of course, it's been an interesting year for everybody. I hope you all are happy, safe, and healthy. You know, the Savannah Harbor Foundation had some interesting times this year. We've decided to pursue what we've always been good at, which is matching for-profit organizations with nonprofit organizations, making the world a better place in the process. So, to that point, the Savannah Harbor Foundation is moving forward with a few events this year. One, we want to communicate that our entire mission is to integrate safety protocols, wellness recommendations, health and safety practices into everything. We are fortunate enough to have communications with Dr. Lawton Davis from the Coastal Health District so that we can do everything effectively. But to the fun part, we have decided to partner with amazing organizations this year to include Urban Hope, Greenbrier Children's Center, Park Place Outreach, and PAC Savannah to create the Gourmet Seafood and Spirits Festival once again. I think you guys attended the Seafood and Spirits Festival before?
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's going to be, so you're actually going to hold it this year, right?
We actually are, absolutely. So we decided that we take the principles that we learned over the last 6 years, holding it over at the Westin, and spread the joy around the community. Our idea is that we can incorporate some capacity limitations, some physical distancing protocols, and some health and wellness checks so that we can hold events throughout the city. You know, what do they recommend to get outside? So on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of the festival, August 24th, 25th, and 26th, we'll be on top of the brand new Drayton Hotel's rooftop bar with a limited capacity, and we are going to celebrate with Moe and Chandon and oysters, and we're calling this event Bubbles and Pearls. The goal to raise money for Park Place Outreach. And we'll have some champagne, we'll have some hand-picked oysters from St. Neo's chef. Tuesday, we get on top of the Perry Lane Hotel. And since the Derby was canceled in May and it's coming around the corner or coming around the bend on September 5th, we decided to host a Derby party called a Fabulous Derby on top of the Perry Lane on August 25th. So to support PAC Savannah, which puts together, I think, over 100,000 meals for kids that would otherwise go hungry, we're deciding that we're going to have sort of a play on the horse races. We're going to raise some money through auction and other activities. We'll have Woodford Reserve mint juleps and much, much more. Then we head on over to the riverboat and get over to the top deck to celebrate Ronald McDonald House in innovative fashion with Hendrick's Gin and Source Tonic. So gin and tonic is the theme. We'll get outside and we'll be rolling on the river with Lake and Love and the Fellowship of Love. Later on that week, we'll be over at the Kehoe Ironworks and 100,000 square feet of lawn space. So each person or each group of 4 will have 15 feet between them and someone else. We'll encourage everyone to stay in their spot, enjoy the tribute bands that we have planned. We'll have food trucks with low country boils, seafood, and much more, but also some fine culinary treats from the land. Leopold's might be there and other sweet treats. So the idea is, let's get outside. Let's communicate that we can enjoy a large-scale event, but separate from each other during it. And so we think that using these tools and using these protocols, we'll be able to meet, we'll be able to enjoy the same thing together, but we'll do it in a safe way. Throughout the week, we're partnering with elite restaurants in Savannah like La Scala, like Chapella, like St. Neo's, like Rancho Alegre, and more, and we are going to put on something called The Journey, a Progressive Experience. Have you guys ever done a progressive dinner before?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
So you go from one place to the next, enjoying each restaurant's fare on the way. Well, last year we did something called the Aquacurian Challenge, and that was about 20 or 30 bars and restaurants competing against each other at the beautiful lawns of the Westin Resort. We had about 700 people, shoulder to shoulder, waiting in line, enjoying a good time, voting for the favorites and crowning champions. Well, we don't really want to do that this year. So what we thought we would do is create an event that drives people to go visit the actual restaurant. So you'll buy a passport or tokens from us and then visit the various restaurants, depositing them as you go to enjoy a cocktail and tapas pairing, and you vote for your
Nice.
favorites. Each restaurant will sort of have a restaurant week menu that entices you to stay. So our whole goal throughout the Seafood and Spirits Festival is to, one, drive revenue and responsible traffic to hospitality organizations, which have been hit hard by the COVID pandemic. Two, raise money and awareness for children's and family charities like PAC Savannah, Park Place Outreach, Greenbrier Children's Center, and more. And three, integrate wellness protocols into every single event. And we
David,
think,
how
yes.
many, how much did you all raise last year? I mean, and how much are you expecting to raise this year?
Through events like the Seafood and Spirits Festival, the Boat Parade of Lights, and more, we raised, we gave away this previous March $54,000 to area charities.
Wow.
Yeah, so what we think that we can do this year in continuing the traditions that we've found successful is, you know, my personal goal is to give away $75,000 to area charities next year at our Partners Breakfast. And we think we can do that through some innovative events that all incorporate physical distancing and more. So while we have the Seafood and Spirits Festival this August, we've also got the Kids Coke Classic Golf Tournament. And I don't know if you guys are golfers, but it's a perfect way to physically distance from each other and have a good time at the same venue. We'll be over at the club at Savannah Harbor. On 9/11, Dan Pavlin, the foundation's new president, and I and others are putting something together called the 9/11 Run for Our Heroes over at West Chatham Elementary. So we'll be raising money for the 200 Club of the Coastal Empire. We'll have a running path that's very similar to the Tunnel to Towers run, so that on our app, people will be, if they have their phone with them, it'll look like they're running from the tunnel to the towers. So it's a very, very impactful event. More details on all of these are at SavannahHarborFoundation.com. Then we've got a new event, sort of a new event, called Wheels in Savannah, which is a classic auto show. We did one last year over at the Westin, and it was very successful, working with the Southeast Regional Car Council. This year, we're going to be over at Redgate Farms, and we think that we can spread out on that magical property over there, keeping everybody safe. But last year, if we got 250 cars, we'll probably have around 300 cars this year, October 31st. And because it's Halloween, we're going to have some trunk or treats and classic cars and some costume contests using the auto theme. And then, of course, in November, we've got our boat parade. So all of these events coming together are integrating those health and wellness protocols. But we think, I should say, we strongly believe that we can incorporate these protocols into each event, practice these events safely, and raise a heck of a lot of money for children's charities here in town.
So the Savannah, the Harbor Foundation really is armed to raise money.
Absolutely. So it was founded in 2001 by Mark Spadoni and other conscientious business leaders as sort of a way to overcome challenges brought about by the 9/11 tragedy.
Very good. So, David, if somebody's interested in volunteering or donating money or signing up, how do they connect with you?
Sure. SavannahHarborFoundation.org is the best way to learn more and to volunteer, also to sponsor the various events. All information at SavannahHarborFoundation.org.
Awesome. And David, have you been in Savannah a while?
Oh, absolutely. So we started visiting in 2007, and I moved down in 2011, been here ever since. It's one of the magical things about Savannah is that it just seems like such an accessible community. And there's so many people, and I say this sometimes, it seems like there are more charitable endeavors of people helping other people per capita in Savannah than anywhere else in the world. I agree
with that. I was an Army wife that we moved all over the world. Savannah is magical.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's interesting when I do travel pre-COVID, people would say, "Where are you from?" And I'd say Savannah, and they go, "Savannah?" They would say it like that. It's not like Savannah, it's Savannah.
Right. Yeah, it's a magical place. And the Savannah Harbor Foundation was always designed to bring for-profits and nonprofits together and creating mutually beneficial solutions. So that's what we intend to keep on doing.
And there's the website. So if you're interested in volunteering or donating or participating, let's do that. So David, thank you for being on.
Thanks
And I just we're getting close to our time. So is there anything else going on in the community that Savannah needs to know about right now? Tanya?
Early voting.
Yes.
Early voting
Yeah.
is going on right now.
Early voting, absentee ballots, get in there in person.
Early voting.
Vote.
Go vote, please. Please go vote. August 11th.
Yep, there we go. Wait a second. Let me see if I can get it back on there. Very good.
Marjorie, you're for those, why don't you tell us real quick about how your workshop went last week? I know that they recorded that so people who weren't able to attend can pick it up. Liz is going to put that online as well. Why don't you tell us real fast how your workshop over at Creative Coast went?
So Creative Coast asked me to speak on 3 strategies to increase word of mouth in the community. And it sounds like, everybody, word of mouth just happens, but there's an actual strategy, and that's what that book is about. So they did record it, and we had a lot of people, not just from Savannah, but so that was really exciting. So there is, I think there's it's right there. That's the recording. So, that was good. I know I've got one coming up in September on crisis PR. I'll be speaking to an association. And I think it's open to everybody, how to prepare to make sure you're prepared for when a crisis situation happens. So
Liz is posting on the back end. She said, Marjorie's book is online.
I can't find it. I haven't looked for it yet. I think
Marjorie's book is online. I'll post once David's, once we're done speaking. So that link is going to be coming up below as well. So it's actually now listed on Amazon.
I haven't seen it. Oh my God.
We've got the link.
No kidding. Oh, I got a good one.
Author among us, people.
So exciting. That's awesome, Marjorie.
It's taken me 2 years to write this because there was this much information and I had to get it down to under 100 pages because small business owners, we don't have time to read something this big.
Right.
It was so hard getting this out. I actually had to hire a coach to help me get this information out and make it happen. But
well, and it's such a good tool for small business. I mean, people, when times are hard and, especially, I've spent 20 years in the nonprofit sector and, especially when fundraising gets hard and, budgets are tight and all that, marketing tends to be the first line in the budget item that gets cut. And a lot of people think that public relations, social media, all that is marketing, and it is, but it isn't. It's an arm. It's the other side, and it's really the word of mouth side. I mean, that whole and they told 2 friends. You think about Savannah, here, if you want to make it here, whether it be in business or especially in nonprofit, you kind of have to be the thing to do, And David, being a partner with so many nonprofits can probably back me up by saying,
Sure.
You really have to. If you're a nonprofit, you really have to get out there and hustle. You got to get out there and talk about what you do. But most of all, you have to make sure other people are talking about what you do. And that is, and there's a strategy to that. And Marjorie's book is, like you said, I'm not going to read 400 pages unless it's really, really, unless it's like the beach by the pool with the cocktail. And in business, you want something that you can pick up, thumb through, mark, tab, grab, and Marjorie's book gives you that opportunity. And it's such a valuable tool. I had I work with a nonprofit here, CIS Savannah, and last year we were able to gain about a $500,000 in earned media just through public relations. We didn't pay for that. It was strictly public relations work, word of mouth work. We went from being an organization that's been here for 25 years that no one heard of to being an organization that everybody was talking about. And it was really, Marjorie came in and coached our board, coached me, gave us this strategy, used her reputation matrix and gave it to us as a tool. And that's what we used. And that was the end of result. And we were this teeny tiny little, nonprofit. So get on Amazon, get that book. If you're a nonprofit, best advice you could ever have is get that book.
I've got to actually do PR on it. I feel like the cobbler without it. I actually got to write a press release. I got to set up book signings. It really has taken me a number of years. I had no idea what was involved when I said I'm going to write a book as my legacy. And it's finally here. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I need to have a book sign. I'm thinking about having it on my birthday, September 9th. I think that would give us enough time to have a virtual, at least have something virtual. So
we'll figure something out. We're going to do something. We didn't get to have your 25th anniversary party in April. And so now we've got to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Carriage Trade. We have to celebrate the book launch, and we have to celebrate your birthday.
September 9th, 7 p.m. online.
So we will do something. We don't know what that is yet, but we will do something.
Oh. And
David and I, we compete. We do wrap offs for Greenbrier.
One of my favorite events.
Hey, Bunny Ware just popped up and said a shout out to Christ Church. They are giving away over 600 of their handmade masks that a lady named Ortiz Berry helped create. So that is Christ Church here in Savannah, 600 handmade masks.
When is that happening? Is that happening right now, Bunny?
I think so. Yeah, she just popped it up.
Okay, so it must be now. This is such a great platform. Shout out to StreamYard. I just love it. And
Shout out to StreamYard.
You can get a free version and still stream live on your Facebook page, and it also goes to YouTube. And that's word of mouth. They're not paying me to say that, but I'm telling you, it is a very powerful platform. Google said that next year it's probably going to be 100%. Everything's going to be video. Like if you look at TikTok, you can't even find a still photograph. Everything has to be video. We are going video. Everywhere.
My 10-year-old is now the video. She has been coming in, backstory, Marjorie and I and my daughter. Marjorie's been teaching my youngest daughter how to paint. And in those conversations, there's a lot of, he's always back here flying around in the background when we're doing this. And one day she came to me and she's like, Mom, we were using this one platform to create these public, the press release videos. And so she's like, Mom, look, you can do this with TikTok. And then about 2 hours later, she's like, Mom, I found another platform. Look, you can do this with this one. And so for like the last 2 weeks, that's what's part about 3 hours of her day. She's like, I want to help. I'm going to show you different platforms. Can I teach you how to do this? Do you think I could host a Zoom class?
We need to have her on here. She is so precious. Oh my God.
So, but yeah, it's funny. People, you don't realize how, I didn't realize, I knew the kids are always, if you're having problems with your iPad or your tablet or computer, everyone always brings it to their teenager or their kid. But you don't realize how I look forward to, when she's like 20, how connected and how different the world will be communicating. My dad still has a rotary phone. So like how different and how,
oh my gosh,
how different and how connected the world will be,
Definitely. Well, it is, we probably need to wrap up because it's Monday morning and do a million things. Gosh, Tanya and David, thank you so much for for hanging around the water cooler this morning.
I'm usually hanging around Tanya with Leola getting our nails done. So this is cool. Shout out to Leola.
So anyhow, we'll be on this time next week live, and tune in. And if you have any information that you'd like us to talk about, post it here, and we'll talk about it. So, all right, guys.
All right, good to see everybody.
Yeah, we got a andiamo. Talk to y'all soon. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.
I need the key to the pool.
No, you can't go in.
No, the cop needs the key to the pool.
Well, why is there a cop there?
Because Tina called a cop.
Oh, I'm coming. I gotta go.